Can you hear me in the back? On the night of the day that David died, I had difficulty sleeping until I got up and wrote this little poem that was going on within me. It rained untimely this morning, early on in June, when David Bromwich disappeared. Tonight, as I attempt to sleep, the wind chime outside my bedroom window once again and endlessly recites. Over the past 2 or 3 years, I got to know David in an increasingly more intimate manner. In addition to the readings and parties, I began to visit David fairly frequently and would take him to lunch at restaurants in Sebastopol until it became literally too dangerous to do that. This was before the wheelchair. At one Sokoko reading, I was shocked by the graphic evidence of Cecilia wheeling David in. After that, my visits to David usually involved my bringing him a turkey sandwich on whole wheat with lettuce and a bit of butter, never the dreaded mayonnaise. Finally, when David had wonderful caregivers and was telling me that they were being way too solicitous, I visited him without carrying food because he was being very well fed. Also, when I visited him at Apple Valley during his long period of physical rehabilitation for his foot condition, he went in kicking and screaming like a lion and came out like a lamb teaching other residents about poetry. Every time I visited David, I thought I was helping and buoying his spirits, but I believe I was, but much more telling was the fact that whenever I left, I felt lighthearted and always carried away with me a line or a bit of advice or praise for a poem. His last suggestion of the right word to be used in one of my poems was the word turd. Actually, the way I put it was not a turd's worth. I used it, and of course it worked perfectly. David loved my reading to him from his own body of poetry, and I know that's the case with many of you. Others of you have since told me that, well, that's what I just said. I will deeply miss those visits to the house on High Street. How perfect that he lived on High Street. Whenever David listened, he would close his eyes and smile. I'll very much miss David, that Cheshire cat behind the otherworldly smile which remains with me always. I feel deeply privileged to have been accepted into this great man's life. Thank you.